Gary Nasai Minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 18. Based on what I saw of this episode, not the golden crown, the founder's crown looks really interesting because a lot of people actually says that the founder's crown can only be used by the Racles Hastes family and all those stuff, but that is not true, okay? Because if you take a closer look at the founder's crown, you would actually see different gems color on the crown itself. So I believe that the rest of the ranger are able to use the founder's crown as well, even though they did say that only the royal blood can use the founder's crown. I felt like that is actually kind of like a myth, kind of like something to kind of like to discourage people from trying out the founder's crown itself or try to steal the crown to use it for themselves. But then again, that is just a theory. Whether or not that is actually the truth, we just have to wait and see until they actually use the founder's crowns on the rest of the ranger. Or maybe there is another possibility, is that the founder when Gira actually use founder's crown in the future, he's gonna figure out kind of like a way to kind of like transfer the power of the founder's crown to the rest of the ranger as well, because I would say it felt kind of like cheating if Gira is the only one that is able to have the founder's crown ability. I would actually love to see like more people, like the rest of the ranger, to be able to henshin into their king form as well, because the entire idea of the founder's crown is that when you become a real king, you're gonna be able to use the founder's crown. But are the rest of the rangers not a real king technically? Because I consider them as king, man. Like they are ruling their own nation, they are doing their own thing. So for me, they are also considered a king in my eye. Okay, so I believe they are able to use the founder's crown. But then again, like I said, it really depends on how the story goes in the future. Okay, but the next thing I want to talk about regarding the founder's crown is the legends surrounding it itself, and I felt like this has something to do. This is definitely gonna connect with the movie itself, because in the movie trailer so far we actually saw that they like the King-Ohger, the Sentai, actually kind of like went to kind of like a different universe, something like that, kind of like, and this is connected to one of the legend that has been shared to us in this episode. Okay, like one of the legend is that they are able to travel the cosmos, something like that. So they are able to access like the cosmos when they actually use the founder's crown, and we actually saw that happening in the movie itself. So with that being said, I believe the movie is gonna be canon to the story, and we are gonna see how things are gonna go in the future. Okay, so this is really interesting, because I really did not expect this to be the case of how the story is gonna go and how the story is gonna move forward, something like that. Because one thing we need to understand is that at the end of the day, is that the movie would actually show us someone using the golden caliber 0, and I don't think that person is gonna be Racles itself, because as we saw, we don't actually get to see what is the outcome of Racles after this episode. It just ended with Gira defeating Racles and then saying to himself like, hey, I'm gonna become the king of Shugodam, something like that. What happened to Racles, we do not know, but I would assume that the person that is using the Ohsama caliber 0 in the Ohsama Sentai movie itself is not gonna be Racles. Okay, it's gonna be someone else. It might actually be like, I still believe that the theory of time travel is gonna be real in the story itself, because I mean, like the founder's crown can do whatever the shit they want, okay? Like they can just write anything they want for the founder's crown to achieve something like that. So that is just my theory. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think. But I'm gonna move forward, okay? Because the next thing I want to talk about is still surrounding the founder's crown, and that is the lance itself, the Ohsama crown lance. That looks like a really familiar weapon that I really love from an anime itself. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to pause the video and kind of like type in the comment section below what weapon am I talking about. I'm just gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The weapon I'm talking about is Ohsama Elish from Fate Stay Night, or in the Fate series itself, and it is the ultimate weapon of Gilgamesh, the king of kings, okay? Like and I don't know, man, like for me, Gilgamesh is legit like the real representation of the king of kings. And in Ohsama Sentai, they are talking about, like, even in the opening song itself, the king of kings, something like that. So everyone is kind of like talking about the king of kings, but then again, at the same time, I just want to bring the roots back to reality as well, and that is in the religion of Christianity, we actually call Jesus, call our God itself the King of Kings as well, because he is supposed to rule over the entire nation, something like that. But then again, that is just something I just want to add on. But let us go back to the Ohsama crown lance, because holy shit, it looks like Ohsama Elish, and I love it. I really love the design. I think that is kind of like the first weapon that I really would love to invest or love to buy from a Sentai series, because it, like I said, it looks like Ohsama Elish, and I'm a big fan of Fate, so I kind of want to get that weapon. And maybe I will get Ohsama Elish. I don't know, do they even sell Ohsama Elish? I don't know, maybe I can make it myself. That is a good idea. I mean, like, I don't think it's that hard, but then again, I could be wrong, okay? I could be wrong. So Ohsama Elish and Ohsama crown lance looks very similar, but Ohsama crown lance has a really interesting gimmick, and that is it is able to kind of like plug in the crown, and the crown is able to spin, something like that. I mean, like Ohsama Elish is the rest of the thing would actually spin rather than the sword guard to spin, something like that. So that is kind of like the small difference, something like that. But let me know in the comment section below what do you think of the lance, because I think another Sentai weapon that looks very similar to the Ohsama crown lance is the from my experience, okay? Like I haven't watched the entirety of the Sentai series, but one other ranger that used quite a similar weapon is the Power Ranger in Space. I think the Red Ranger, the weapon, it looks very similar. It kind of look like a drill bit or something like that. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I watched it in Space, but then again, that is the first thing that I actually remembered. Okay, so moving on to the next thing right now. I felt like the next thing I want to talk about is Deboski, okay? Because Deboski, I don't know, man. Like, throughout the entire situation, throughout the entire first half of the series itself, I've been talking about this for a long ass time. That is how scummy, how Deboski is actually a schemer. And I felt like he really redeemed himself in this episode, because I felt like he don't really have a lot of screen time for quite a lot of episodes. Like, most of the episode, we are focusing on Himeno, we are focusing on Rita, we are focusing on Yanma and Kira. So Deboski don't really have a lot of screen time, but I felt like that is intentional. And I would say this episode is kind of like serve to help Deboski to be a real part of the Sentai itself, because a lot of people, I would say, would kind of like, wow, Deboski, he doesn't deserve to be a part of the Sentai because he's not actually helping them to do anything. He's like helping Racles and all those stuff, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, everything that he has been planning to do is to steal the power of Racles, to find out what is the secret of Racles itself. And this is really interesting, okay, because everything that we saw he did, but including sending Suzume to Sugodam, is all for the purpose of stealing the power of Racles itself. But I don't think that is the end, because I would assume that Suzume might actually still be in Sugodam when Gira took over, so that, you know, like, Deboski still want to prioritize his own country, so maybe he's gonna like give Suzume over to Gira as kind of like a potential fiance. It's a similar vibe like Racles, but, you know, like, just to gain favor, something like that, okay? But I have a feeling that Gira is not gonna entertain Suzume so much, because remember, he got Kogane, okay? Kogane is gonna be the queen of Sugodam. I really hope like there's a little bit of romance going on in the story as well. But then again, this is Super Sentai and this is a Japanese show. I don't think they're gonna focus so much on romance when the entire series point is not on romance itself. This is not a K-drama, okay? Like, K-drama, they're gonna sell you like, oh, this is a kind of like a alien visit Earth story, but at the end of the day, it is still a love story. Like, and K-drama is gonna sell you like, oh, this is like North Korea meets South Korea, and how things are gonna go. But at the end of the day, it is still a love story itself. But that is not Japanese show itself. When Japanese show tells you that this is a murder mystery, this is a freaking murder mystery. And if they tell you that this is a love story, then this is a love story, okay? They're not gonna like mix things up. They're not gonna kind of change the they're not gonna change the attention of the story just to, you know, make everything a love story, something like that. But I really loved what Deboski did in this episode. But I just want to talk about when Gira activated the extreme King-Ohger itself, because oh my god, when I saw him shouting extreme King-Ohger, I don't know why I can't say extreme like a normal human, because of my love for Kamen Rider W. Like, every single time when he summoned the extreme Gaia memory, like he's like the oh my god, the Gaia memory sound of extreme. I just love how extreme is being pronounced there, okay? So when we saw Extreme King-Ohger, it is really interesting, especially in the cockpit itself, because we actually get to see Deboski is the one that actually pilots the mecha, and Gira is the one that focuses on controlling the crown itself. So it would require at least 2 people to pilot Extreme King-Ohger, okay? So that is really interesting. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. We ended the episode with the Bugnarak took over the what do I say? Took over the Sugar Dam, and then we actually get to see like, oh yeah, we did saw what happened to Racles. What am I saying? Like, Racles go back to the castle. He didn't see any retainer at all. All he see is a bunch of Bugnarak like circling around the castle, something like that. So I would assume that Racles is gonna escape on his own, or maybe he's gonna, I don't know what is gonna happen to Racles, but in the next episode we are gonna see yet again the entirety of Ohsama Sentai like finally calling themselves Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, okay? They're gonna rebuild their name. They're gonna rebuild their identity and call themselves Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. So that is really, really amazing. Okay, but that is all from me. Hope you enjoy, and I'll be seeing you guys. I forgot to do something really, really interesting with all of you, and that is, if you made this far into the video, how about you leave a word called Xbox in the comment section below, because it's been a while since I play any game and I just miss Xbox controller. I actually have a Xbox controller here which I have not been using for a longest time, so I really want to go back to gaming, but I just couldn't find the time to do so because of life. So yeah, Xbox, I'll be seeing you guys in the future. Goodbye, hope you enjoy, and yeah, subscribe.